Hi, Fashion Dolls. It is Transformation Tuesday, and welcome to another new episode of Style by Stevie. I am super excited about today's interview. I've been talking to this individual for the past few days about this interview. It has been in the works. And 4 p.m. joining me, we have the Jaded Nerd. Make sure you guys please go and subscribe to his YouTube channel. I made the announcement because my old page got hacked, and I know a lot of people are thinking that I'm sending the message. It's not me, you guys. Make sure you guys block and report that page. All right, joining me today, ladies and gentlemen, we have Tony Jones. I'm going to share this live to let everyone know that we are on so that we can dive right into this interview. And I have a very special guest that will also be joining me when we do our interview with Jaded. So make sure you guys tune in for that. As you all know, today's show is sponsored by Exclusive Beauty Hair Store. So make sure you guys go and check it out. Black owned, and we're in the South Carolina area. So without further ado, let's welcome our very special guest, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have some fun today. Let me go ahead and add accept. Yep.
How
Well,
are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Pretty good yourself?
Great. It's great to have you here.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, Fashion Doll, let's get right into this interview. So before we get into the interview, how's 2022 been for you thus far? How's this year been for you thus far?
Um, so far popping, praise God. Before I say anything, first and foremost, much love to my wife and my daughter. Um, I can't, I can't thank them enough for their love and their support. That enables me to do me when I'm on set, and they have been troopers from day one since I got in the game. But yeah, 22 has been good so far. January 10th it was. We knocked out the Black History film, and just this weekend with James Williams of Spectrum Films, my boy, how you be? Um, we knocked out Room Service, which is done by the way, and the premiere will be Sunday, so I'm not. I want to watch it until then. It would not.
All right, all right. So it sounds like all great things. So let's start off way, way, way to the beginning. You were born in Philly, but you lived in Delaware most of your life, and also lived in Los Angeles, San Diego, and Virginia. So tell us a little bit about that, because I know it's difficult going bouncing around, from place to place to place, and that balance.
That was when I was in the Navy.
8 years.
Um,
Yep.
Spent 8 years in the Navy. Started off on the East Coast in Norfolk, Virginia. Then we moved to we traded home bases and ported in Coronado, San Diego, if you will. But before that, I was living in base housing in Newport News. Then it was to San Diego, and let me see, yeah, VA, San Diego, and then of course back to the East Coast.
Okay, okay. So it's definitely a balance. So how did you get your start into acting?
Um, Actually, we were at a party when I was in the Navy. This couple had a party. Food was popping, and I just started dropping Richard Pryor jokes. So everybody thought I was a comedian. And one of the people at the party was like, "Are you an actor?" And no. Um, if you want to say I'm a comedian, you can say that. So next thing you know, shortly after that, my wife is looking in the phone book, and she comes across this thing called Actors Workshop Studios. So I was there briefly learning acting, and it was from there that I gained my first agent, Pam Pocky of Elegance, and she was the one who referred me to Kerry Scott.
Okay,
Kerry,
okay.
Kerry Scott of the rehearsal room here on here on Instagram.
Method acting and the rehearsal room in San Diego. So tell us a little bit about that experience for you.
Um, the rehearsal room, to make a long story short, is where I really learned about acting. The group theater, Stanislavski, who is considered the father of modern acting, Stella Adler, who learned directly from him, who is considered the mother of modern acting. In fact, she's responsible for like 95% of your A-list actors and uh, having Oscars. I mean, she taught them, and she in turn taught Kerry Scott, who taught us.
Okay. Okay.
Hmm.
So, all right, let's get right into it, Fashion Dolls. We're getting into
Hmm.
this a little bit deeper. All right, we're talking to Tony about his career. All right, you're currently being represented by Plaza 7 Talent.
Yes,
And
sir.
we're going to talk a little bit about your project, Room Service, and where do we go from here? Profiles of Black history and She Rolls. We're going to talk about those projects. So, what is it like being represented under Plaza 7 Talent? Because I know a lot of actors and actresses out here are looking for talent agencies to manage them and get themselves out here in this industry.
Plaza 7 was validation for me, and I didn't expect a call from them at all, because okay, it's not a confidence thing. I just, that late in the game, like November, December, I wasn't expecting, any feedback until this year. However, November 23rd, yeah, November 23rd, I get a call. Can you come to the office for an audition? I thought it was just for an audition. So November 24th, day before Thanksgiving, here I am doing an audition. She has me do a cold read with a commercial, Linda Wish, the owner of Mainline Model slash Plaza 7. She has me do a cold read with the commercial audition. Then I do a monologue. What monologue did I do? Yeah, I did a Shawshank Redemption with Morgan Freeman,
Oh,
where he's like rehabilitated, and then he goes into that, and next thing I know, I see the little paper that they give you. When you get signed by an agency, they give you a little profile paper, your name, social security number, et cetera, et cetera. So, help me out here. Y'all don't give these unless you're repping somebody. So, Linda, how'd you guess? So I was like, what? So yeah, it just, the way it hit me, I swear to God, I teared up right in the room, just buckets.
it's unreal. So do you ever, sit back and reflect like, wow, this is unreal. This is all happening, in the projects, as I've mentioned previously before I, brought up the agency. When you're on set, what's running through your mind? Because I know we talked behind the scenes, about you on set and focus and in character and at rehearsals and table reads and things and such. What is running through your mind? Like, wow, this is a reality. This has all come true. And I know a lot of people, when they're in that moment, when they're acting and they're on set and they're being, the director is telling them what they need to do, it's just like, wow, this is something that I've wished and hoped and prayed that would happen. And is happening. What's running through your mind?
First thing, to be honest with you, is God. Thank you for giving me this blessing. Thank you for giving me this talent. You know, um, Allow me to do this work in your name. Second thing, am I good with my wife before I walk out the door when I get on set to handle my business? Third thing, am I prepared? Am I as prepared as possible? Once I get on set, holler at the director. Okay, check me out. I know how I would like to play this. What's your vision for this scene? And basically, make a long story short, a lot of communication and make sure that I'm prepared when I'm on set. Um, you know, Me and the other actors, are we on the same page? Um, Whole thing it's just been crazy. The latter part of 2021 up until now, just crazy.
Okay.
Um, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to was saying. The other thing that gets me is my cousin hits me up like a month ago, and he's like, "Hey, yo, I just want to let you know how much we're pulling for you." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's a lot of people. A lot of people don't, think it's a joke. Don't think you're gonna make it, man. So do me a favor, get that break for me, cause it just I'm just happy for you. I'm just like, wow. Had to take a deep breath. I'm like, okay, that's where y'all are with this. Okay, my bad, my bad. You look bored. I'm about to what's his name?
No, no,
Oh,
no. This is
huh?
true. This is true. These things happen when actors are on set, when actors and actresses are on set. They, it's like this experience is just like, wow, this is unreal. Even for me, when I'm doing my platform, believe it or not, I'm shocked when at some of the interviews that I've done with
Mhm,
names on this platform, and I'm just like, wow, I can't believe I'm sitting and talking with this person. I can't believe this is really, really happening.
mhm.
I've watched them throughout my childhood on television screen and just doing interviews and things like that and such, and I was like, wow, I would love to speak to this person one day, or I would just love to do this is like a passion, this is what I love, and I know it's the same for you.
Yes, it is. And the crazy thing is when you say that, a lot of people ask me like, was it your dream of becoming an actor? I'm like, no, that wasn't a dream. I am an actor. You go to school for like any job. You go to school for any job. You know, you either get the job and you excel at it, or you don't. No, my dream, to be honest with you, is connecting with people. It's where I've come from. I mean, we grew up when I grew up, we grew up broke. And I mean, we put the B in broke. I mean, we were so broke, food stamps was like, baby, baby. Back in the day when it said Department of Agriculture on your joint or whatnot. So yeah, this the whole journey is the whole journey is just it's just been amazing up to this point.
And it's unreal. It's, how can I describe it? What's the word? Like deja vu. Like this feeling just came over you unexpectedly. Like,
Mm-hmm.
wow, you get a rush from it because it's just like God has put so much in your life and blessed you in so many ways.
Mm-hmm.
So speaking of blessings and doing the work and being on set, we get into the projects. I'm holding off of that. How have you been able, how, because we talked behind the scenes, how have you been able to do that balance, like balance family life, being a father, being away on set and doing the table reads and things, and then being an actor, Tony Jones the actor?
To be honest with you, my wife has been monumental in that. I mean, ooh, man, I can't believe I'm about to tear up. Um,
Oh no.
nah, she's been monumental with that and a trooper. And I mean, how supportive she has been of the whole process. Always pushing me, whether it's an actor, um, you know, being a good father, being a good anything, a professional. I mean, she's just always been right there through the whole thing. To be honest with you, she is God's greatest gift to me. That's just that's straight up. That's 100. And it's like I live to be able to come home. Did you get it? Yeah, yeah, yeah. We believe it or not, yeah, I got it. We about to get our Jeffersons and all. We about to move on up. Fatherhood. I can't stress how proud I am of my daughter Marcelina. I can't even put that into words because that girl is doing her thing, man. An assistant manager with a store called Clothes, doing good things. Yeah, she's rocking it up in there, and she's been a strong supporter as well. A trooper. It's just without my wife and my daughter, I just and God, none of this would be possible. Just period.
And it's definitely that. You should always have family values, a strong support system around you 100%. And I definitely can do. And I seen you kind of tear up over the wife because we know how serious that is. You know, you got to have family that's supporting you 100%. And shout outs to all the wives, the mothers, the women out here who stand by their men and support them through all their visions. Because the same, you know,
Yeah,
it's the same way around, you know, for us as
yeah.
women. All right. So let's get into these projects. All right. So room service is in post production and
It's
as well as
done.
the
It's done. I'm
profiles
sorry.
of, go ahead, I'm sorry.
It's done.
Okay. All right. Room
Ready
service
to
is
be
done.
streamed. I'm sorry.
Profiles of Black history heroes and sheroes, and where do we go from here? So out of all the projects that you worked on, because you have been on the ground, we talked, you know, mornings and things like that behind the scenes on you going and doing these table reads, and you know, I wish you best of luck and set you on your way 100%. How is it, which out of these out of these projects that I just named, which one holds a special place to your heart? Which one or character can you relate to the most?
That's that's really hard. That's like Facebook when they're like giving you a choice between Marvin Gaye and
Mhm.
Marvin Gaye and oh man, Marvin Gaye and the Temptations. To be honest with you, all of them have been fulfilling. I was truly honored when Lisa Griffith Fleming, when she hired me for the Black History project. Um, just so many things with that. You know, playing three historical black figures. One civil rights, two was uh two was Homer Plessy. I'm sorry, and the last one was Oscar Micheaux, one of the first black feature filmmakers ever. And and once I did that production, to be totally honest with you, I was nervous because that's mainly monologues, and I had to wear wigs because ain't no follicle on his head. But sometimes I look at people out here, I killed with just three strands of that hair, bro. So so yeah, you know, I'm wearing a wig for Bayard Rustin. I'm not sure if anybody's working Bayard Rustin. People don't know he organized the '63 March on Washington. That man was so influential organizing that. It's crazy. Not to mention the fact, and you know, I have to applaud Bayard Rustin because he was an openly gay man in the '60s. Yes, and you already know that was heresy, regardless of your race. Back then, to come out with that, and yeah, well, I am who I am, and I'm proud. Um, but yeah, he was so instrumental with civil rights, and uh, and Homer Plessy. I mean, everybody knows, you know, Plessy versus Ferguson, which led to Brown versus the Board of Education. You know, to
Mhm.
end segregation across the board. You already know, and you know, that was a great experience. My first green screen. So yeah, that was a great experience. Room service. Um, Mad love to James Williams for giving me my first lead, man. And before I say that, Tara Beavers, Amir Grant, Stormy Norman, Olivia Basket, Darren Alexander, I'm sorry, Alexander, Zelina Rose now. Just everybody came together for a great performance. Before that was A Gangster's Paradise. Um, I played Malik, a dealer. That's really all I can what's the name because that's still in production. And also, let me see here, original gangster, the fragility in our hearts. Um, Waiting for that one to come out. So you know, just a lot of good work. You know, I'm just incredibly blessed and grateful for what I would be, you know, what I've been able to do up to this point.
And it's more to come. It's more to come. I talk about manifestation all the time. You've heard me, so it's definitely more to come in the future. And you've spoke a lot about your family supporting you 100% throughout this entire process, and that's very pivotal throughout your career as well. So shout outs to your wife and your beautiful daughter as well too.
Uh,
All right. So
love,
we're gonna
love.
talk. Go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm saying just love, just love.
100%. And you know how I am about family. Family should always be an important factor when helping you when you're out here in this business, because so many people can become jaded and alienated, and they're just like, okay, where do I go? Who do I turn to? Who's here to advise me? And I'm thankful to have a
Absolutely,
strong, solid support system around me as well. That's
absolutely.
very, very important. All right. So we've talked about your projects. If you could collaborate with any actors, who comes to mind? Who would you like to collaborate or work with in the future?
My first would be Samuel L. Jackson.
Mm,
He he reminds me so much of me. It's not even funny. Just that cool, laid back cat that likes to have fun on set. I don't want to make it sound like ego. I guess I'm kind of well spoken. A mustard seed of intelligent. Just that cool cat on set. Denzel, of course. Who doesn't want to work with Denzel? Could be 105. I still work with Denzel. Jamie Foxx. Um, I love to work with Jamie. Um, as far as the males. And lastly, I like to work with Forrest Whitaker.
mm.
Forrest Whitaker has done some good things, like prime example, Harlem, the Godfather in Harlem on Epics. I'd love to work with Forrest. Uh,
And FYI, I'm gonna add on to that. For those of you who don't know, for my ladies, because y'all know I love Whitney Houston. He also produced "Waiting to Exhale" with Angela Bassett, Whitney Houston,
mhm.
Loretta Devine, Layla Rochon, as well as Terry McMillan and Babyface. So that's another fact for those of you who don't know.
As far as female actresses go, top of the list, Viola Davis,
My girl. Hmm.
um, Angela Bassett, um, Lupita Nyong'o. Um, love to work with Meryl Streep. She, yes, she's one of the baddest out there. Julia Roberts and Sandra Bullock.
Oh, great choices. Great choices. Wow. You've
Every one
named
of
some
them I can
people.
learn from.
Yes. Definitely, and it could happen. It's definitely gonna happen. Again,
I
you
hope
never
so.
know what happens. When you come on this platform. I guess it's like a good luck charm in a way, because I had an actor. Shout outs to him. He what was it? He said that I'm gonna be doing something on Netflix with Wu Tang, and then come to find out, I see him in the trailer. So you never know, it could happen.
I'm glad you said that because I'd love to be able to audition for Wu Tang and all the Power series. Goodness gracious, I love to be on those shows. Raising Canaan, uh, Power, Ghost. Lord have mercy. You know what? Whether it's support, I don't care what I be on there. Just I love to audition for those shows.
And it's gonna happen. It's definitely gonna happen. And speaking of
Thank
happening,
you.
what's happening right now, Fashion Dolls, is we're about to get into our games. All right. Y'all know what time it is. It is time for the rapid five, and we're gonna do the turn the table segment. Um, Tony has to tell me five things that he can't live without. So, what are five things that you can't live without?
I'll start with number five. My Honda. Number four. My phone. Every actor has to have, an avenue to platforms like this and or, self-tape auditions is the way of the world.
Mm-hmm.
Three, acting. Acting, it's just in my blood. That's who I am. Two, God. And everybody's thinking like, why not one? God. And number one, numero uno, um, she is the epitome of a woman, man. I mean, just, mm,
That's all right. Take your time.
mm. My wife, man. Mm.
It's all right. We got you.
Yeah, my wife. She's just been like my rock through this whole thing, and she's just been steady for me. I mean, even when I'm down, just it's just my biggest support system, man. Just cheering me on the whole 9 yards. Um, she's battling kidney disease right now. She's got type 2, and through it all, she just every day wakes up, try to stay positive. Helps me read my lines. Helps me to prepare for auditions, and the only thing the biggest thing that breaks my heart, but to be totally honest with you, it put everything into perspective. And we're sitting up here, actors sit up there talking about their big break, their big break, their big break. What really got me going, as far as booking, hey Tony, always remember this. Yeah, you could be the most famous actor on earth. Yeah, our bank account could be 9 digits. Yeah, but it's not going to change kidney disease. It's not going to change type 2. Do you? And always keep that in perspective. There is nothing on earth. There's other than God Himself, other than Jesus Himself. There's no amount of money that's going to reverse my situation. Do your job. And when she said that, it was boom. Acting went from dream, it went from bullshit to okay. I gotta research. I gotta do all these things. Chief Rainey, paramedic angel, learn about being a paramedic, learn about being an IT guy for James for room service. On the upcoming project, Waiting for Death. I can't spell that. All I can tell you is that I'm ill. That's all I can tell you. Um, my wife was in the hospital twice, hospitalized, and I almost lost her both times. As a matter of fact, as recently as December, she went into renal failure with her kidneys, and the crazy thing, the crazy thing is she's in the hospital, and we're doing a photo shoot for Spectrum Films, and she was like, "Go, I'm fine, I'm stronger, go."
It's okay. I'm sorry.
No, no, you're good, you're good, you're good. I mean, uh, this is what dreams are made of. One of these days we sitting there doing an interview, and man, this guy's doing this, his wife's going through that, his wife's going through it, but yeah, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to talk this to death. The uh, the biggest, my heart, my soul, and my love, be honest with you, goes out to Spectrum, and here's why. Back in July, I'm on Instagram and I see Spectrum water commercial. And you know what? What the hell? So doing this, I auditioned for the commercial like Spectrum water. Mm, feel the beat in every drop. So I do the commercial. James likes it, and the next thing you know, he's like, the commercial was amazing. So it goes from a Spectrum water commercial to here I am, a lead in his film 6 months later. So it's funny how things work out. Most definitely.
And like my mom always say, that's how God moves. Look in those comments, and you got so much love in here. Speak Drum Films, also Ed Organ Films says shout outs to Tony, all of that and more. You're getting all of this love in the comments, and I see some of
Big
my
love.
followers in the groups.
Big
Shout
love.
outs to all
Appreciate
of
you.
you. All right. It is time to turn those tables, ladies and gentlemen. So Tony is going to get to ask me questions. And as you guys know, it's uncensored, it's unfiltered. So, Tony,
What would you do if you got offered your own syndicated show?
I it would have to be terms and conditions for me because I'm an independent woman and I try to build things up on my own. So if I got offered a show, I would definitely take that opportunity. But I would be like, okay, what are the terms and conditions of this opportunity and things like that? What is this opportunity? What is in this contract that you're going to be offering me? So that's another thing in this industry. Be careful when you're getting offered these contracts left and right. Make sure you read over everything with a fine tooth comb. Know what you're getting yourself into. So I would take the offer, but I would be like, okay, was still keeping an eye out, like, okay, what is going on? So yeah.
Two, we talked about it before. Your inspiration, your rock.
God and my mom. God and my mom. Well, without my mom, I would not be here. Um, that woman has been a strong, solid support system throughout this entire process, the ups and downs, and all around, and thick and thin. She's always been there, and I may not hear some of the stuff that she wants to say, but your moms are vital. We need them in our life. Mothers are vital, and it's 100%. So I'm thankful to still have my parents here, alive. It's 2022. We lost so many people. So I'm thankful to have both of my parents here and to myself be alive as well too. So I give myself a pat on the back for surviving this pandemic and still being here. But yeah, my mom and God.
Other than this banging show, which I love to watch every day, what's your passion?
My passion my passion would be to educate people, to inform people. I can't be a teacher, because I don't have a teaching license or anything like that, but I always wanted to be one when I was younger. So this is my way of educating people with the knowledge that I have, from reading and doing research and making sure that everything, especially when you're covering topics or doing stories or interviews, that you have all of the research and facts correct, because you can't go out here and put a story out here and it not be true. So yeah, 100%. My passion is to inform people, bring awareness.
What would be what would be your strong message to trans people, to
To,
transgender,
yeah, to the trans community, be
trans community? I'm
bold.
sorry.
Be bold. Don't hide it. Live in your truth. Walk in your truth. Live firm and stand firm with who you are, especially to teenagers out there that are struggling to come out and have acceptance from people. Not everybody's going to accept you. And for me, I've realized that you cannot fight for everybody's validation and accept it. There's not a price tag that you can put to make someone accept you on that. It's within yourself. You got to find that validation within yourself and not look for it from somebody else, because you're going to be miserable trying to please people all the time. And me, I've learned that. So I'm just like, nah, I don't care anymore. If you don't like me, you don't like me. If you love me, you love me. If you're rocking with me, you're rocking with me. If you're going to be evil, I can just remove myself away from the equation. And I've grown a lot. 2022, especially with since we lost so many people, has given me a total eye-opening experience
Mhm.
to make me regroup and rethink about things. So yeah,
And for that, my friend, I applaud you.
thank you.
Um,
100%.
how did you get into fashion?
How did I get into fashion? Well, my assistant principal when I was in high school, because the only designers that I'd known was what was the designers back then? I got into it around middle school, high school, and my assistant principals kind of put me up onto it. I would start sketching designs and I would show them to my teachers and things. They're like, "Oh my God, that's beautiful." So then, as I got in high school, my assistant principal said, "Oh no, baby, I have to show you Vogue. I have to show you Harper's Bazaar. I have to show you all of these fashion magazines so that you can be up." Because Gucci and Fubu is not the only designers. Like, it's so many out here. So I'm thankful for my assistant principal. Shout outs to Dr. Glover. She gave me a stack full of Vogue magazines, and they were this thick. And
Mm,
Harper's Bazaar, it was like, because right now going on this past fashion week, and every year when it's that time, when it's that year, that season, they always come out with a big, thick issue that's like what, 800, 900 pages. And
Right.
I'm just like, oh my God. So
Mhm.
she put me on to so many other designers. And therefore, I just taught myself about fashion. And not only that, but my grandmother had a very keen eye for fashion as well, too. So
Okay.
rest in peace to my grandmother, Izola Shepherd Henderson. Um, if it wasn't for her, just her style with details and so many different things, I wouldn't have picked that up at a very young age. Because she also dressed, her and my mom had some input because she would dress me and my sister, God bless my sister soul, kind of alike, when we were going to church and things like that. So those little memories stick with me. And going back and looking at some of my childhood pictures, I was like, okay, I had style then. And then as I've grown throughout the years, my mom, she started letting me dress myself. You know, some outfit choices, she was just like, okay, can you put a cover over that? But so far she loves it. And I know people were going to ask that question as well too. What does your mom think about, the styling and the dressing? Are you showing too much skin? It's all for, this is my response to it. It's all about fashion for me. So if the sensuality, that you guys are going to be getting one day where I'm showing a little cleave or a little leg, it's just that. It's just that. It's just for a fashion staple. It's for nothing else. And that's how I think fashion should be. When you're dressing, it should be for yourself and not to please someone else. Like you can be an inspiration to someone and say, okay, um, where did you get that outfit from? And I've gotten that a lot as well too. So yeah, that's how I got into fashion. My assistant principal.
Always a direct reflection of yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Indeed.
Little long winded, but I know you guys are wondering. So as many
That's
questions
good.
as you want, Tony, before we conclude.
Say again.
I said a little bit before we any more questions before we conclude.
Uh, Off the top of my head, no. I just thank you for having me.
You're welcome. You're welcome. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, that concludes the turn the table segment. Um, Before we conclude this interview, um, is there any words that you would like to give to people who are looking to get into this industry, who are looking to become an actor?
I'll try to be brief as possible. Um, First and foremost, like my acting coach at Device, my current acting coach told me, be yourself. A lot of actors might find that crazy, but be yourself, and here's what I mean by that. Um, when you go to audition or somebody asks you to do a monologue, give your take on the character. Um, based on what I've learned from Device, they don't want to see imitation. They want to see what you bring to the table. That's what makes the whole audition interesting. They don't want to see a Morgan Freeman imitation. They don't want to see a Meryl Streep imitation. Every every actor has an element of themselves within the character. That's what makes the situation unique. I can totally identify with this guy. That's why I chose the role. Um,
Absolutely.
other Don't be afraid to make choices and stick with them. Don't be afraid to do that. That's what makes your audition unique. In fact, when I did my monologue for Holy Man, um, one of the people I auditioned for was like, "Yeah, I didn't see Eddie Murphy in any of that." I was like, I just wanted to give my take on the guy. Um, and my acting coach and my wife Chris. They've been instrumental on both sides of that. Chris Tata have been instrumental on that. Promise I was gonna soon I was gonna drop a monologue of A Time to Kill. You remember that movie?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
Samuel L. Jackson when he goes into the America is a Wall, Jake. I was gonna drop that monologue for that, and I was thinking about the Matrix with Morpheus. But um, as far as getting into this business, find you a good acting coach who cares about you, not your money. Who cares about you? Who wants to develop you, not the 1,500 that you're giving them. You, if Find people who won't lie to you. Either you can act in this business, or you can, or you can't. You get it, or you don't. And the crazy thing for me is I took longer to understand the game than I wanted to. But through device and through my wife, things just started coming around for me. But find a good acting coach. Find one who cares about your development. Ask questions. Do audits with some of the do audits with some of these acting classes. And as far as agencies go, find the right agent for you. Find the agent who complements or who can complement your skills. Other than that, it's a learning process.
Absolutely, 100%. And I hope you guys are paying attention to that. There's books out here, there's programs that you can watch. Go out and reach out to people who can actually help you 100%. All right, fashion dolls. Coming up next, we have YouTube content creator Jaded Nerd. He's going to be joining us at 4 p.m. It is almost time, but thank you so much, Tony, for just coming on and bringing that insight and inspiring people. And one more thing, where can people follow you and what can people expect from you next? You can't really speak on certain things, certain projects.
hmm Uh, Here on Instagram, uh, Tony Jones 2021 dot 69. Facebook Tony Jones. Twitter Tony Jones. And as far as next projects go, I'm definitely looking to hook up with Janito's Studios, if that's possible. I'm already hooked up with Dan Williams of Silent Shadow, and there's a few other auditions that I'm coming up on. But other than that, 2022 is promising. I will say this before I go. I'm raw. This is my first interview, so if we do this again, I definitely come back on here.
Yes, you're welcome back. You're welcome back in the future. Absolutely. 100%.
Thank you again for having me.
You're so welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Tony Jones, be sure to follow him. Coming up next, we have the Jada Nerd. Get ready to laugh. We're going to have some good times, some more good times with Jada Nerd. I had such a good time with you, Tony. It was great talking to you, and I definitely will be speaking with you again in the future.
Thank you again for having me.
You too. All right, fashion dolls. This interview will be up, and I will see you guys at 4.